Back to Black. The Amy Winehouse biopic comes in at 2 hours and tells the life and music of Amy Winehouse through the journey of adolescence to adulthood and the creation of one of the best-selling albums of our time. So, the movie stars Marissa Abella as Amy, and she does a good job. Jack O'Connell is Blake. He does a good job, and Eddie Marzan plays Mitch, her father, who is the real standout in this. So, here is what you need to know about this movie. If you are an Amy Winehouse fan and you want to see her go down a self-destructive path, or don't, maybe you don't want to watch her go down a self-destructive path, this movie delves into her addictions. And I, at first glance, liked it. And I still think I liked aspects of this film. It moves fairly well for the first hour and 30 minutes. And then it kind of like, at the end, really moves and goes over the last parts, the last years of her life like that. It's like, wait a minute. I don't know if I like this part of it. It goes to establish her relationship with the Blake person and how toxic that relationship was. It tries to humanize him a little bit, and her, like her desire to find love and somebody who wants to, like, love her back, like she just wants to find a family and be a mother and stuff like that. But she's obviously never had it all together up here, and the beginning of the film portrays it as if she does have it all together up there, with her relationship with her father and stuff. And I don't know if I like that, because she doesn't have it together up there. And then, of course, when you add in the alcohol and the drugs into the mix, where she's like, no, I don't like drugs, because the Blake character introduces it to her and stuff. It's like, you want to help her, right? You want her to, you want to be able to say, stop this, don't do that. But if you have any experience with addiction, or people who have gone through this, like, yes, it's hard to not be like, please stop, please, there is a better way to do it, please don't go down this route. But if you have experience with it, then you know they've got to go down that route, and they're going to hit rock bottoms. The movie shows her hitting rock bottoms a couple times. Is it as upfront and in your face as some people would want? Like, if you want to see her really hit rock bottoms, then this movie doesn't exactly show that to you. Does it sugarcoat it? I don't think so. Like, she does wake up in places where it's like, what, Amy, what are you doing here? And she's got bruises and cuts on her face, and that's what happens with people who fight addictions. I would have liked it more, I think, if we focused in on the music side of things. If we got to see her in the studio saying, no, I don't like this bit and I don't like that bit. There are parts in the beginning where we do see her with a guitar trying to hammer out song lyrics and stuff, and that's very much what I wanted to see. So that's why I say that the beginning was good, because every musician sits here going over the same chords. That sounds okay, that sounds good. No, I don't know if I like that. Maybe I like it if it goes there instead, right? So she does a couple of things like that in the movie, and I think that stuff works for me. But we know that we eventually have to get to the part where things start to go off the rails, and it kind of really glosses over a lot of the last years of her life, and that's where I think people won't like it. Like at the 40-minute mark to the hour in, I was like, are they just going to focus in on one part of this particular part of her life, the Blake part? And if that's going to be the case, then I think I'm going to like this movie, because you are just taking a certain aspect of her life and you're highlighting that to us, that struggle that she has, right? and I'll like it if it's staying like that, but then it just jumps into hyperdrive in the third act, where it's like, okay, now all of a sudden she wants to go to rehab. Now she wants to write the rehab song that we all know, and it seems like that part was shoehorned in at the end. That some people will not like that, right? I won't doubt her talent. I think people will be having issues with her not being portrayed as abstract as she was. So let's pull up my score sheet and talk about some preliminary numbers here. So acting, directing, and story are out of a possible 2 points each. Cinematography and score are out of a possible 1 point. So acting, I think for the most part, guys, I'm going to give it a solid 2. Because she did a good job, and the father does a great job of, like, there's a moment here when the father realizes how far off the deep end she's gone, and he's on the phone with her, and he just kind of like breaks down. It's like, oh no, like, and you felt it here, right? That's why I'm giving acting a full 2 points. The ending, the directing, the story, it's there. The ingredients are there. I just don't know if it's going to work for everybody. And I don't know if the directing of it, there's aspects of it that I liked. Like they go into a bar at the end, and she's like, I can feel grandma's presence in here, mom's presence in here, right? Yeah, it was grandma's presence. I like that aspect of it. Like, there's some notes, some paintbrush strokes in here that are very well handled. So I may come back to directing and story. Cinematography was good. Score, it's her music for the most part. Her writing the music. So I'll give the score a full point. I think that's worthwhile. Cinematography, I think, is serviceable. I'm sitting at a 5.5 right now for Back to Black. And I think, yeah, let's go over and take a look at what the tomato meter said for Back to Black. Oh, 35% by critics, 87% by the audience. So there's a big disparity here. So what's going on? I'm guessing that the audience liked it because they're Amy Winehouse fans, which is what this movie, you're going to get that bulk of the audience first. People who liked Amy Winehouse are going to go out and check this regardless of what the critics are saying. So that's why you're going to get a high score. And you're going to get the die-hard ones that will be like, I don't care if it's good or bad, then I'm still going to like it because I like Amy Winehouse. And I don't care what you say. So you're going to have that aspect. But then you're also going to get people that are like, well, I want to learn about her. And in that aspect, you do learn about her. I just don't know if it's going to land for you at the end. 35% by critics. I'm sure this is all going to be about pacing and tone towards the end. And I said that in my breakdown. So let's go down and take a look at some of the snapshot reviews. Audience. Catherine. A life's cut short due to addictions brought on the inability to try to please others that she didn't know who she was. Well, I think she didn't know who she was, but she also, I don't know if, that sounds like you're a fan of Amy Winehouse, and this is going to be a hard minefield to dodge here, because if you're a fan of hers and you've had no interactions with addictions, then you're not going to understand it. And there's a few times in it where I kind of called out, that's not how an alcoholic would work. Like, she has a drink on the table and she leaves this amount in. That's not how alcoholics would do it. They don't. That's down the hatch. So the depiction of that, I do call into question. Anyway, Rafer Guzman, who's a critic, an incomplete version of a well-known story. Okay, so they know some more facts of how perhaps gritty and dark things got for her. Back to Black adds up nothing more than Daily Mail headlines. Okay, so let's go and take a look at a few more critics' reviews. because I do want to get a more, that doesn't add too much there. I do not like the new Rotten Tomatoes. Shadows on the Wall, wonderfully centered around her musicality and spark personality. The film is a celebration anchored in a terrific performance by a gifted Marissa Abela. And yes, she does give a good performance. There's a great scene in the pool hall with the Blake person where they meet and fall in love, and all of that stuff works because it's well acted, and it's sold to you that she buys into love, and that's why that's her driving force. But it doesn't do a good job of that's what's also blinding and hindering her. Like that's I don't know. It's kind of hard to articulate exactly. Like it does blind her and block her goals. Like that's why she gets so intoxicated with. She's more intoxicated with the concept of the relationship of it than she is with the person Blake, right? Even though she gets it tattooed on her, James, don't you know that? Blah blah blah. Yes, I know that. I know that. Oy, yeah. So you see what I mean by here? There's a delicate minefield that I'm trying to dance around and stuff, right? New York Post. Perhaps there was a strong movie buried in here somewhere if the filmmakers had not made so many traditional choices to dull a messy figure of Hollywood. To dull. Yeah, Wendy Lee Zaney liked it. Marissa Abela did a phenomenal job as Amy Winehouse. However, it did not dive deep enough on the music and songwriting front. That I agree about. Yeah, I would like to have seen more of the music stuff because she understood jazz, which means you have to understand some fundamentals of music theory, which she did, right? That I wanted to see more of. It was fine as a biopic, but it was a bit too surface level. I would say that the movie suffers a lot from like the direction of where they were trying to go with the relationship stuff. But then I think maybe perhaps I would surmise that the studios were like, well, when are we going to get to the crazy part? Get to the crazy parts already. Please, please, please. And maybe that's not what the movie was going to set out to do initially. But we want to hear her say the rehab song. Well, this movie's not going to get to that part. Well, make it get to that part anyway. And so they put that in at the last minute kind of thing, right? There's a great part here where she's singing and she starts bawling and breaking down. It's a great performance. Like that's a highlight scene for sure. And that's why I would say it's worthy of seeing. So let's wrap up my score sheet and see where I finally land on Back to Black. If you are an Amy Winehouse fan, then you will want to check it out. If you are curious about her music and stuff, then you want to check it out. But I think story-wise, where do I bump this up? Because 6.5 seems a little bit low. I'll give the directing 7 out of 10. Yeah. Because there's a scene in here where she's obviously intoxicated performing on stage, which is on YouTube too as well, where they reenact that. And I guess, like, you're like, why did anybody let her up on stage? Right? Like, that's what I mean when you look at it and you look at people who deal with addictions. Like, you feel uncomfortable watching that because you know somebody's having an episode. You know somebody's not handling it well. 7 out of 10. It's a bit low for me, but I think it's the right score. Back to Black. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below and we will talk about it. Have you seen it? Do you agree that it's maybe not hard-hitting enough? If you disagree, let me know in the comments below. And hey, come join us here on Mirror Domains, because we do talk about other things like Superman suit and trailer reactions for Rings of Power and House of Dragon Season 2, movies like Megalopolis, and movie reviews for The Strangers and If, I Saw the TV Glow, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and full series reactions for things like Fallout. And then we do movie news headlines throughout the week where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day. Everything movies here on Mirror Domains.